Alright, you ready to talk about some shit?
Yes! Yes! If I need your body, I'll fucking...
Hello everybody and welcome back to your regularly scheduled programming of talking shit.
Shit.
I'm saying shit with I'm saying it very aggressively, aren't I? Like shit.
Yeah.
Talking
It
shit.
should be shit.
Yeah, sorry. Talking shit.
It
And
makes
today...
it sound not like shit.
Wait, what?
It makes it sound not like shit.
Oh, like nice.
Yeah.
Like, it's shit, but it doesn't actually smell that bad. Like, it's just kind of like, you know, it's like a... You know when you have...
Like my shits.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because I'm...
Why the fuck would I know that? We're off to a great start. So, my name's Dan and I smell my best friend's shit.
And I also have a best friend who smells my shit.
What's your name again? Even though I said you're my best friend just then, what's your name again?
No, that's just my title.
Oh, okay. You're gonna legally change your name by default.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I'm Joe.
And this is a show that we do. I can't get that image out of my head of just you having a shit. Just me being by your side like, oh, that's a good one, that is.
It smells good, man.
Just giving you a thumbs up like, yes!
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir!
What are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about either the most disappointing thing...
You know what? Now you say disappointing, and we've just talked about shit. I could liken it to a bit of a fart, because the thing we're talking about was like the build-up was very exciting. But then
I wonder where you were going
when it dropped.
Yep.
It was there for a bit, lingered for a bit, but then it kind of disappeared very quickly.
It's like somebody went,
in the people's
minds,
I think.
Stinks!
Yeah.
Oh my god, did you even finish that fart?
Yeah. But like some people at the same time are like, yo, like that fart kind of smells nice.
Yeah, that fart don't smell that bad. You guys are just looking at the main odor it left. You're not talking about the joy and laughter the fart was bringing.
So now that we've likened the thing that we're talking about to a fart,
to a fart,
we will reveal the thing that we're talking about.
It's not like it's in the title.
Whoa! Oh yeah, actually, that's a good point for all these episodes. We're like,
It's a thing of like, it's this thing of like, if you don't do it though, there's gonna be that one fucking person that like is just like, I don't get it.
Oh, title.
Like the one person that clicked on it without reading the title or looking at the thumbnail with I'm probably gonna put Keanu Reeves in it going, why do you come?
Why do you come?
If there's one good thing to come from the thing that we're talking about today, it is that meme. It follows me everywhere. I love it so much. What makes you a criminal in 2077?
Come.
Anyway, the thing we're talking about is Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt's own.
Yes, sir. It's almost... Well, for 1 second, it looked like it was going to be released in 2077. Because it took so long to get to us, and 2077 is the title of the game.
I kind of wish we were doing face cam because the look I was giving you while you were doing that, it was just the look of like, you know when your dad beats you and he's disappointed in his own slap, it wasn't hard enough.
It's because I've seen that. I'll just disregard that. It's because I've seen like all the same comments that you see everywhere, like yo, Cyberpunk, more like Cyberbug, Cyber glitch,
glitch 77,
Keanu Reeves,
yo, Rihanna Keeves,
yo, everyone has said that ever.
We're in touch with the fans of Cyberpunk. if there are any. Oh, hey, just kidding.
This game was kind of overhyped, but like,
yeah, but
it also is good. But
it's okay. I'm in mixed. If I were a bag of Haribos, I'd be a multi-pack because I'm mixed. Okay.
That's deep.
Thanks, man. It's difficult because I always kind of knew the majority of people were gonna overhype the game. It was kind of inevitable when, you know, your game is constantly delayed, but every time it's delayed, because of your good track record, you say, oh, it's delayed because we're adding this, and the game will let you do this and this and this and this and this. And because you have such a good track record, which is kind of now tarnished, everybody's like, oh, it's getting delayed. No, but they're going to add this, and I'm actually going to be able to live in the world of Cyberpunk. Bye, guys. I'm escaping COVID.
Yeah, I don't feel burnt by like how much I got hyped.
No, me either.
It just reinforces the fact that when a game is this hyped, it will always not live up to the hype.
Yeah, yeah. But as much as that's an issue of, you know, culture and just people, it's also, you know, don't fuck it up. You know what I mean? Like I've said, and this isn't my opinion that I've come up with. I've just heard other people say this, and I just believe it truly. Like, you just should have never made a release date. That should have been your main priority, because you knew. Well, I say that I was about to give them credit and be like, because you knew all the problems and blah blah blah. But no, to be honest, I really don't think they cared about all the problems in the end, because quite frankly, you know what? Let's just get into the obvious stuff, and let's just get into the issues with consoles and shit like that. So we're both cool, so we're actually on PC because, you know, we aren't gimps. Just kidding. I own a PS4. I'm just kidding, people. Jeez. I'm sure everybody who's listening to this has seen. There's plenty of meme videos. There's plenty of actual news coverage. I say news, gaming journalism coverage about it. It runs like shit on console. It's practically unplayable. I think it is unplayable, isn't it? Like,
yeah, pretty much.
I don't see how you could. I have a friend. I won't say his name. But he's got it on Xbox One. He's only just refunded it, and he had it for since it came out. Yeah, so what's that? nearly 4 weeks now. And I was like, yeah. I think when this podcast goes out, it will have been out a month.
Yeah, probably.
And I was like, did you not know it was unplayable? And he's like, yeah, I did, but I don't know. And I'm like, great. But
honestly,
I don't.
The PS4 memes are so, like, the PS4 and Xbox One memes to do, they're so good.
They're fantastic. Have you seen the one where it's that E3 video where he's riding like the subway, the futuristic subway, which, by the way, you can't actually ride in the game despite there being tracks everywhere because they basically just ran out of time and just didn't put it in. Which is kind of a through line for a lot of the things in this game. There's when it reveals the city, it just shows a bunch of cardboard boxes and shit, and really,
and
really bad graphics.
And then it just stops. It
stops
screens
running
on PS4. It just goes.
Oh, it's fantastic. So it's honestly appalling. There's no two ways around it. This is CD Projekt Red. Yeah. And I don't understand how this happened. We've spoken about this before off air, but fucking how could you let this happen? I don't understand. The majority of this. How long has this game been in development? What, 7 years, 8 years, or something?
There was a trailer that was released for it in 2013 or 2012. And that's letting the public know about it. So, you presume that there's been stuff before that, obviously.
Yeah.
And it's been it's been in the works, but we don't know to what extent because obviously Witcher 3 came out in 2015, was it?
15, yeah.
Yeah, so
either way though, let's just say it's been in development for 7 years, and just kind of say early. I mean, it's the same for any project. Early development isn't full on rush work, get it done. It's not crunch, which they eventually ended up in, because of course they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, for some reason, people who listen to this who aren't into games, hi, thanks for sticking around. CD Projekt Red is it is the only like AAA game developer that doesn't have a bad reputation. It's like their stance on DLC is fantastic. Like, it's how games used to be, or at least it used to be how games used to be. Now with Cyberpunk, it's kind of different, but their games would be finished. All of the content be in there. They wouldn't be like, here's the game, it's not really finished, so here's some DLC day one, you know what I mean? Like, shit like that. They had such a good track record, and now this game has fucked it, especially on consoles.
Yeah, everyone says that, but I think, right, don't get me wrong, like, I love Witcher 3 and CD Projekt Red. But
yes.
They just they had this massive success, and everyone, like, praised them. But they never had any kind of longevity. Like they've done Witcher. Like, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
I think they've probably made. This isn't one of the tabs I brought up, like their other games. I probably should have made some note. I'll just quickly look at it. But yeah, Witcher is the only main one. So CD.
Yeah, but Witcher is amazing.
Yeah, which I promise you I am going to probably play Witcher 3. Because I bought it when it came out, people, but I did not properly get into it.
I did everything. I did everything in that game. All the DLC, every single.
It's saying
so good.
It's saying that they've worked on Saints Row 2. Huh?
I mean, nice.
Did they make it though?
I don't know.
Oh, the mobile game. What? They made the... I don't know. They maybe made Saints Row 2, which apparently is good.
The point
but either
still
way,
stands.
Yeah. And even like before Witcher 3, Witcher 3 is their first game to really go mainstream. Like, Witcher 2, while with it, a lot of people tell me it's great, wasn't exactly, like anybody was talking about it other than people who knew about the Witcher stuff already. Like, it didn't captivate a new audience like Witcher 3 did. I get what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so yeah, that's console stuff aside. Like, it is despicable. I don't know how you could have possibly fucked that up, seeing as you've been working with that hardware for next gen consoles. Well, now it's only current gen, but at the time next gen. When did they come out? 2014, maybe. I think I remember, or was it even earlier than that? Around that time. So you've been working with them for the majority of the time that you were making this game. And you also then lied to people right before the game eventually did come out and show them footage on the PS4 and go, it works fine, bruh. And then everybody played it and went, no, it doesn't.
They didn't let anyone play it.
Yes,
any
they
reviewers
didn't
play it on the PS4 or Xbox.
Yeah, it was only PC, wasn't it?
Was it only PC? Oh shit! I thought it was.
I don't think I ever heard anyone review it early on consoles.
Yeah, well, that's even.
Basically,
scummy, across the board, it
was very scummy. It was very scummy.
But there is the argument that it's not necessarily the developer's fault. It's
more to do with the investors. Which I get.
Money.
Which
but we don't actually know how far. Like,
exactly, we don't actually know how much that actually plays into it. Because the thing with the investors is that they were more bothered about. Come on, brain. They were more bothered about the Metacritic score and like reviews than they were sales. Because I think they knew. Because as you can see now, I've got the sales up now, and it's I actually had misinformation the other day. I thought it was losing. I thought it was going to be a loss because of refunds, but I hadn't actually probably looked into it. And yeah, they've sold. I mean, this was 2 weeks into launch, was 13 million copies. So you got to imagine. I haven't been able to find any new stats, but you got to imagine it's probably nearly 14 million at this point, maybe.
Yeah, I swear I saw somewhere where it was like 10 million pre-orders though.
It was 10 million pre. No, it was 8 million pre-orders.
8 million.
8 million pre-orders, yeah, which is insane.
They already made their money back like however many times, I think.
From just the pre-orders, probably, yeah.
Just pre-orders.
And then probably like merch and other shit like that before the game even came out and shit like that. Crazy.
One thing that I've seen a lot is it's funny how this game that's against like the corporate overlords.
Yeah.
There is an argument for the corporate overlords being like, "Hey, we want this game to come out."
Yeah. Wake the fuck up, CD Projekt Red. We have investors to burn.
Still, man.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a bit of a farce because it won't have the legacy that Witcher 3 has by any chance.
No, I was saying Witcher 3 is gonna go down in history as a much more impactful and important game over time than I honestly think Cyberpunk's gonna die out in like even 5 years might be pushing it. You know what I mean? Like I really don't think anyone's gonna be talking about this. They're on about doing DLC, but honestly, I could care less. And I actually like the game, but I really could care less about more story. I don't actually see what more you could do without.
Yeah, not with V. I don't think.
Yeah, not with V, definitely.
Like...
Especially because you can get different endings as well. Like.
Yeah.
Fuck knows. And I don't really care about playing anyone else in that universe.
Yeah. But I think
maybe I can play as Judy and make her like me.
I think apart from like the bugs and how it was released, like there's not much that's bad.
No.
Like it's from there.
It's a good.
I think it's just a range from like average to like great. You know.
Yeah. I think the lowest the quality of the actual like the content of the game, looking outside of graphical performance and just general performance, the game itself, like the quests, the story, the gameplay, I honestly think it doesn't even dip below good at any point. I think it's a lot of good with a quite a bit of great in between, but overall, just obviously with the performance issues and everything, you just couldn't label this as a great game. I think it's a good game. I think it's a very good game, but it's not great, which is a shame. So yeah, let's probably talk about our own experiences with the game. So we've kind of explained, everything that's going on, the controversies that are going on with the game. But outside of that, let's just talk about our own experiences and what we actually think about the game.
Well, we have both completely finished the game for one.
Yes.
We've played a bunch of it. I've played a bit more and done more side stuff and. Like I played it, like I did so much side stuff, like in the middle of while I was playing it as well.
Yeah. So if I just pull up our Steam records, I've put just below 40 hours into the game. I'm on 39.6, and you've put in 77 hours.
Yeah, Jesus, there's quite a bit more.
Yeah, I've done all the main side mission stuff. I was like you, like. We'll get into this, but there's a lot of side missions in this game that really should be main missions. So once I started figuring out that, there's actually like key story in these side missions, I was doing a lot of side missions.
Cyberpunk's, CD Projekt Red is so good at that. Like their side missions and like side stuff is so good.
I think that some of the side missions are better than the story missions, main story.
Yeah. Especially the three. The three like big characters that you have,
definitely. Like the Pan Am storyline is my favorite thing in the entire game. I love the Pan Am stuff. And by the way, we are strictly in non-spoilers right now still. We won't spoil the game for anyone that's here. I'm sure I might add in a thing earlier to say that it's spoiler free, but we're not going to spoil the game. We will let you know when we're going to spoil the game in case you are playing it and you haven't got very far. So
Yo.
He's pointing at me.
The world, sick.
Yes.
It looks sick when it's not 20 FPS.
It probably looks better on your computer than mine, but yes.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, at one point I did turn it down low. Just
to be fair, the graphics don't actually change that much.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So basically, Joe's got a slightly beefier PC than mine. So I was at the low end of the specs that could run the game, and Joe was at the higher end. However, other than the only difference I had than you was that when I was in the city at least, I got a lot of pop-in, like people electronic adverts and stuff. It was quite distracting when I was driving around, hence why I didn't do a lot of just free roaming, chilling out, because it just looked bad. Whereas you didn't really have that issue at all, did you?
No, but I think it did kind of. It either played the same as me or slightly better on yours. I think that's because of Nvidia, to be fair.
Yeah, true. Like, I know you had,
there
were certain points where I was running better frames than you, which was very surprising. Maybe it is the Nvidia thing, yeah, because they made it with Nvidia other than... Joe's on AMD, and I'm on Nvidia, so... And I'm only repping like a GTX 1060. I think it's a 6 gig or 8 gig, one of those. I've got shit tons of RAM in there, so that the graphics card amount of RAM don't really matter. But yeah, like, and my processor is also at the very low end of like i7-4770, I think. So
numbers,
like, numbers, yeah. Oh no, you don't know, do you? Because you're on AMD. But yeah,
I do know. Yeah, I do know.
Yeah, I think they recommended like a slight, like just the slightest model up for like recommended specs, and my graphics card was on recommended, so I knew I'd run the game. But obviously, it's not even on PC where it runs way better than console. It still is very poorly optimized, and yeah, there were just some weird graphical bugs and issues, which kind of did, as we say, put a dampening on the experience. But overall, I had a good time.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to think what we can talk about to not spoilers. Like, that's like kind of the
maybe
world,
just general
this is what I'm on
gameplay
about,
and stuff.
Yeah. See, because like the design and how it looks, like Night City is such a sick place, and the Badlands as well. Like,
oh, I love the Badlands.
Yeah.
Because we picked. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, you know, as long as you're not moving fast, if you stand still, amazing, brilliant. If you don't move at all, if you
those frames just start to dip as soon as you start moving.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Apart from in the Badlands, I was at a pretty solid 60, maybe sometimes dropping at 50. Badlands was working really well for me, which was very cool because if people don't know about Cyberpunk, it's an RPG, and at the start of the game, you get to choose one of 3 life paths, and they kind of change the intro of the game for everybody. I chose Nomad, and Joe, you went with Street Kid, right?
Yeah.
So Street Kid like starts Joe off in the city, whereas as a Nomad, I start out in the Badlands, which is the area. It's a big wilderness surrounding Night City. So I thought the game was really well optimized and like, you know, it was awesome when I first started playing because I was like, holy shit, I'm at like a solid 60. The graphics are all loaded in. There's no pop-in. I was like, this is mad. And then I get in the city and I go, oh. But yeah, I love the Badlands stuff, which is why I'm very glad I picked Nomad, because a lot of my story takes me, not the story, sorry, a lot of my side missions, I think I have more side mission options outside the city than other people. I have at least a few I know that you can't get on any other life paths. So I was in the Badlands quite a lot, and driving out in the Badlands is so good because, yeah, frames are solid, and it just works.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess let's just talk about like the general gameplay before we move into the spoilers and just start talking about everything. Like, how does the gameplay feel?
Combat is weird. I think I like it more than I did before, but like it's just like it's nothing special.
I'm on like the opposite of you, where I liked it more when I first started playing. I remember everyone saying everyone was like, it feels fine. Everyone's like, the guns feel fine, melee's alright, you know, whatever. But I was having a blast with the guns. I was like loving, you know, popping people's heads off. I thought it felt really good. But then as I kept playing, and then our friends all came back from uni and we started playing more multiplayer games and like a wider array of games. We were playing Valorant, and I was like, oh, this gunplay feels so much better. And I was reminded what, you know, gunplay feels like in other games. Yeah. And I was like, okay, it's not that great, but it's not bad. Again, it's one of those things where it's good. It's fine.
It's serviceable. And I think my experience with the melee has worsened. Well, the main way I experience the melee is through these cool bloody
Mantis blades.
mantis blades. Yeah,
Which
you have just
which is like a cybernetic upgrade that you can get in the game where you literally get giant blades coming out of your arms.
And in
it
the
looks
trailers,
cool.
it's kind of perceived to be like this big deal and like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of big thing. But
it's on
you
a lot of
kind
the box art, isn't it? Like in some of them.
yeah. And one of the things that they alluded to is you could wall climb, but then they didn't actually offer that in the end. But yeah, whatever.
Yet another thing.
Yeah, but man, you just kind of buy it. You just kind of buy it, and you've got it all of a sudden. Like it's not really a big thing. Like, and at first I was like, yo, I've got blades.
Slice, swipe, swipe,
I've got
swipe.
blades in my arms.
It's very cool.
But it kind of wore down after a bit. Like
yeah, the novelty wears off, doesn't it?
And like some of the executions is like glitchy and
I don't talk
I've seen glitches
like,
because it's like across the board like
there's not much to
visual
say about
glitches
glitches because it's just like everyone knows about them at this point, and it's not like we had an experience with any more or less than is expected from what we knew. I never got any game-breaking glitches, I'll say that. I never had my save file corrupted. I never had anything that crashed my game. I never crashed. I had audio issues that you didn't, where I've got like an audio interface, and it's hooked up to like my headphones and my microphone. So basically I'm getting all the audio, like, there's no... Because a lot of speakers... and other headphones try to put like their own spin on the audio that comes in to make it sound better than like your headphones can actually make it sound. So the interface kind of comes in and makes it sound like really rich in how like all sounds are intended to be. Like when somebody, like the game designers, they put in the sound and my interface makes it sound like how they put it in rather than it being tampered with. That was a really convoluted way of explaining. Anyway, whenever I tried to play this game listening through my interface, it just didn't work. Like the audio would play, but I just get like, I get like crackling constantly, just like, and it's like, oh. So I had to always play it through my speakers, which meant whenever I wanted to be in a call with you guys, I couldn't play Cyberpunk at the same time because I take all the calls on my headphones, not my speakers. And it just, didn't work, which was very fucking annoying. But yeah, you didn't have that problem with the headphones, did you? I guess.
No,
I haven't heard anyone else with interfaces have issues. Maybe it's just mine, I don't know.
No. I was free to listen to the good soundtrack. It's a good soundtrack, guys.
Yeah, if there's one thing that's perfect about this game, it's probably the in-game soundtrack, and then like the score as well is very good. So obviously there's a difference, but they're both
and all
perfect.
the radio stations they
play bangers.
All those songs are like for this game. Like, I don't know.
They got like Run the Jewels to do a song.
Yeah, man,
it's
Run the Jewels is sick. You actually just reminded me of one thing that I had this glitch where I had to like go back like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah. Oh yes, yeah.
Because it was something to do with like these side missions, and this person calls you, and it just glitched where I was kind of like just going through them, and she wouldn't like call me to finish the thing. So then it affected all of the other ones,
all the previous ones. Yeah.
It would like she wouldn't notify me of the one that I'm like about to do, and it just basically fucked everything up because I couldn't complete any of these missions.
Yeah.
And it was just trash. Basically.
I will
don't know
say
if that's fixed, but
probably not. I haven't seen any new fixes. I will say one thing about this game is that the UI is terrible. It's awful. It's so bad. Like, keeping track of which side mission you're actually tracking and the messaging system, oh my god. Like, for some side missions they just couldn't be bothered to even record dialogue, because you take phone calls and it's like video calls, and it's a very low effort way to give you exposition on what's going on, so that you don't have to do a whole big scene. You can just have a phone call. But for these like missions where you're chasing down cyber psycho, so like people who've modified their body so much that they're insane and they're just going on killing sprees and stuff, you like when you've done them, you just have to text the person who's giving you all the assignments rather than call them.
I think that's all right though.
No, it's not. Have you know when you have like so many text conversations, you click on the bitch's fucking thing to be like, I want to message her, and then you're just dropped into your messages, and it doesn't.
And you have to find it again.
Yeah, you need to find it again.
That's bad, but like the thing of
so
tech, like the whole like the idea of it. Like
if
how
it
you
worked,
get
it'd be fine, but it's so bad.
Yeah,
it takes me so long to find it because I've got so many side missions pending and main characters messaging me and all this other shit.
Navigating is bad. It's funny. It's like,
I hate it.
Bro, you're so popular in this game.
Yeah, everybody wants to know you.
It's like, hey V, we got another gig for you.
Yeah, people just call me and go, you don't know me, but I know you. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, what? Who told you?
Where have you got my number from, bro?
So, like, some people, you tell them that Johnny Silverhand, Keanu Reeves is in your head, and they go, what? And then some people go, ha! You got Keanu Reeves in your bloody head. And I'm like, who told you? The fuck?
Yeah. The mysterious Night City Underground.
Ooh.
So scary.
Full of prostitutes.
Yeah,
there's
so
a male
many
one
dildos in this game.
There's a male prostitute and a female prostitute, and you better believe I slept with both of them because I was like, what kind of animations have they got planned? Not very raunchy ones.
That reminds me. I remember you said there was one side mission where you have to.
I know what you're gonna say.
I don't know. You go into this like club or whatever with these like strippers or like whores. Let's say
let's be blunt.
To put it quaintly, whores, bloody whores, and I think you have to make a decision between a male or a female.
Yep.
To basically like sleep with or whatever. And
well,
I remember the names.
It's like the idea is that it's a deeper connection than just sleep. Like you go in there and they kind of tailor an experience for you that like can sometimes get like it can get from levels of like introspective to sexual to all over the place, you know what I mean? So like they like download your personal profile and then you pick a preference of male or female ones that like would match up with the kind of experience you don't even know that you need to have. And then you have that experience, But yeah, go on.
And these two whores were called Angel and Sky, I think I remember. And it's so weird because they show you the pictures of them.
Yep. With the names.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to, because I am a heterosexual male, I'm going to pick the female.
And then there's some more dialogue, and then it cuts away from the screen and you have dialogue. And then it goes, so which one do you want to pick? And it just
I swear the names are switched. I swear the names are switched.
I think they are, yeah. So like, the name, it's just, you just see the names Angel and Sky, and I went, wait, I don't remember which one's which. And I was looking at the names, and I was like, Angel seems like a female prostitute name.
That was the most intense decision of the game.
Literally.
It held more than the final.
Than the very final decision in the game. And then I pick the thing and I walk with Johnny Silverhand, and Johnny's like, good fucking luck in there. And then the door opens and it's just a man, and he stands up and goes, well, hey there, sailor, or whatever. And I'm just like,
a man raw dogging you in the ass.
And I'm just like, oh god. And I'm like, am I really going to be so petty that I go back to an autosave? And I was like, let's just fucking do this. And then me and this dude are like lying down in bed, and he's like whispering sweet nothings in my ear. And I'm just like, I feel very uncomfortable right now.
Afterwards, you go to the corner. Rock yourself.
And then you know how there's like a safe word that you can say to stop it at any point? It was actually a challenge not to do the safe word. I was like, I need this for the story, but this is very uncomfortable. Oh man.
You see, I remember you got to that part before me, and I think
you were doing so many side missions that I was going ahead in the story.
Yeah. So I paid attention.
So did Rye, our other mate that played the game. So did he. He knew. I messaged him first because I knew he'd done it, and I said, did you pick the right one? He said, yes. I went,
well,
me too.
Not necessarily the right one. We like to be inclusive on this podcast.
No, it's in the right one for what you want. I'm not...
Of course.
You.
I don't want to, We love the gays on this podcast.
We're big fans.
Yes.
We wish we could live our lives as cool as that, but unfortunately we were boring, white and straight.
Yeah, so Night City, yeah.
Yeah. Let's kind of wrap up the non-spoilery things. So
yeah, man, the juice. Get to the juice.
I would only recommend this game to somebody who was on PC and had a hefty PC, and maybe still even just wait a bit until the game is fully working. Because even though it works fine on PC, if you're the kind of person that constant small little like problems and graphical things and little shit like spread out in the game will annoy you so much that you'll think you wasted your money, don't get it yet. Just wait until it's fine. But when it is fine, I would still recommend it. Like, the story, just real quick before we get into specifics, the writing is so good. It's some of the best quest design and story writing that I've seen in a long time.
With the voice acting as well.
Yes, V
and
is
with
whoever
the
does
animation.
V, yeah, true. When it works,
really
I had some graphical issues that sometimes ruin the animation. But yeah, V especially he's doing such a good job. He's doing a better job than Reeves, I'll be honest.
See, that I think Keanu Reeves is a bit.
Some people said that his
he's just
performance
being
was
Keanu,
a bit...
man. Like,
but like, what do you expect? It's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but Keanu Reeves. Oh,
come on, man. Are you not on the Keanu Reeves hype train,
bro? He was a bit of a fun meme for a bit, and yeah, he's a cool guy.
Come on,
I
he's
like
the best.
Him. No, I like him, but
he's so good.
He's a bit of a beaten horse at this point.
Maybe that's just you.
And I'm not hating.
I'm not hating. Keanu down.
No, I'm not hating, man.
Either way, it's very well written. And then the gameplay is very good to serviceable, which, you know, you could say, well, serviceable is mediocre. This game is, it's not mediocre, but there's a lot of elements in this game that are, you know, not great, just good. And nowadays, who can complain at something that's just good? Like, yeah, it's not going to be the masterpiece and best game of all time as people thought it was going to be.
No.
But it's a good experience. So, I mean, when it's working, buy it, enjoy it.
We shouldn't settle for good.
Okay,
we should
fine.
demand more.
Okay, fine. Why don't you just get Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War or whatever, which is nowhere near as good, but everyone's buying it.
I will not become a complacent consumer.
Oh, yeah, is that what Keanu taught you? Fuck the courts, man.
We've got a city.
Arasaka. We're gonna burn Arasaka to the ground.
Arasaka. You know these guys. I hate these guys, man.
I hate these fuckers. So, we're gonna move into our spoiler discussion now. You have been warned. Joe, give them a little sound effect that will let them know it's spoiler time. Spoilers. So, if you get the game spoiled for you now, fuck you, it's your own fault. So, we had very different endings, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, I'm just going to quickly run through my story and briefly explain how I feel about it and everything, and then I'll let you talk about yours, and then we'll just discuss back and forth, and just, till the end, just wind down with just general thoughts now, once we've aired everything out. Does that sound cool?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Pretty cool, isn't it? Just like us, we're cool. Where are my shades? Oh, that's right, they're on my face.
Because I'm always cool.
Because I'm always cool. 24/7. Keanu Reeves cool. So, I picked the Nomad life path, which means at the start of the game, I'm leaving my clan out in the Badlands because reasons. I don't know. We want to go to Night City because the clan is falling apart, so we're like, let's go make something of ourselves in Night City. We run into Jackie, who's like, Pequeño, let's go! We become best friends, then he dies. We get a chip in our head that, making Keanu proud, and Keanu's in our head and we're dying, so we need to find a thing, Mikoshi, we need to find a big room under Arasaka Tower that can get Keanu Reeves out of my head, and I will not be dying anymore. So the story is basically the same. You're just getting to this point to Mikoshi, finding contacts, blah blah blah, infiltrating Arasaka places, and then the side quest and love interest for if you're playing a straight man in the game is my queen Panam, who is also an ex-nomad, which means for my story it worked even better, I think, than any other life path. So we bond over being nomads. She gets back in good with her nomad family. They become cool with me. And then at the end of the game, when we have to go to Arasaka Tower, you have a choice to either let Johnny Silverhand take over and go with his girlfriend Rogue to go kill Adam Smasher and get Mikoshi and, end the game. You have another choice, which is like a corpo kind of life path one, which I don't think any of us picked, or anyone I know picked. And then you have the one I went with, which is I went in with Panam. The leader of a clan died, which kind of sucked. And then I was told, hey, you can either let Keanu go in your body forever and he'll survive forever, and then you can go into like cyberspace, or you can go back into your own body. Johnny comes with me into cyberspace, and you'll kind of die in like 6 months. So obviously I was like, well, Panam's just lost her like father figure, so fuck that. I'm gonna go back and be with her and be happy. So I join her nomad clan, so it's full circle. I start a nomad, I end a nomad, and realize, Night City brought nothing but pain. So it's time to escape with the one good thing I managed to find, which is really sweet, and I like it. And then I'm also kind of told that my character's probably gonna live anyway, because we know Ripper docs and stuff who can give me pills that help me, and it's very ambiguous as to whether I'm actually going to die or not, and whether it's sad or really happy. But either way, me and Panam go off into the night, looking up at the stars, all in love, and we go wreck shit as a bunch of nomads. And I thought it was really cool, because my life path, even though the game design isn't designed this way, because Joe could have got the exact same ending despite the fact he was a street kid, I feel that it came full circle and it made my story really, really cool. And that is my general opinion. I really love the story. I think it's really cool, especially the one I picked. I got very lucky that my choices ended up making the story work even better. And I love it. I really do.
I think, I chose Street Kid, and I think I got the ending, which more like it follows that life path the most. But also it's not the greatest best ending, but like it's still a good ending kind of in my eyes, because
it follows the life path.
And what it also kind of means. So what I did was I decided to go into Mikoshi, to this like final area, as Johnny Silverhand in V's body, because I was like, yo, I'm gonna trust the homie. I'm gonna trust Keanu Reeves.
That was gonna be my choice before the Panam option showed up, and then I was like, I gotta go with Panam.
See, bro, I was like, yo, I don't want Panam to die, bro.
Yes, that's what I was worried about.
I don't want Panam to die. So like I'm kind of a better person. Not gonna lie.
But who ended up with her?
Yeah, well, you were foolish.
To the winner goes all the
You were
spoilers.
dangerous.
And it paid off.
God damn, man. Yeah, so I go as Johnny. He meets up with his old buddy, where he basically does the same thing that caused him to die last time, kind of.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Infiltrating
But
Arasaka again.
Things are going to be different this time, which they are. So yeah, we do all that shit. My friend dies. Oh no, boo-hoo.
Antipod. Someone always dies, I'm assuming, then. In that final bit.
Yeah.
Because for me it was Saul.
So then, and then once we'd done all that, I decided to go back as V in his body, because like, my relationship with Johnny was like, yo, no matter what happens, like it's for you now. And my view was like, yo, Johnny's had this whole life, and he blew his own life.
Yeah, he blew it away on being a dick.
Yeah, and now that his friend Rogue has gone, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, he's got nothing.
Yeah.
He's got no like relation to this world at all.
I'm assuming you did all the side missions that I did, which is this thing again of like missions that should have been main missions. Like, there's a lot of side missions where you actually bond with Johnny and go back through his past and like kind of fix a lot of wrongs.
I do love that relationship.
Yeah, I really like the dynamic between the two, and how I don't know how it can be if you're an asshole to each other. Like, I imagine that's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, I think me and you were the same, where we just became really good friends with him and were like besties. So he always wanted what was best for me, and I think that was the same for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, when I decided to go back to V as V and hand over the body, like, while still being Johnny, when I'm like walking towards like this cyberspace thing where like confirms your choice basically, this kind of like this character of me, like in my head, what am I fucking saying?
Train of thought.
Yeah.
You're walking off into the cyberspace. A character of you in your head.
Okay, so, I realised that I was rambling, so we're just gonna cut ahead. Okay. So basically, when I make this decision, I wake up in my body. I'm like, yo, what's going on? I'm in like a fly as fuck mansion. Everything looks cool, man. Everything's sick. Panam's over there. She's alive.
Hey!
Yo, she's alive. But then we kind of have a talk, and she's like, city's not for me. I'm fed up of the city. I'm leaving. Even though like I'm dying, and we're meant to have this like sick relationship. But yeah, sure. And then whilst playing through this little bit, I learned that I'm like basically a legend. Basically a big
legend.
Basically kind of like not the king of Night City, but like the most respected, let's say. Like, yeah, in terms of like the underground, like,
yeah, you're an absolute. You're a Johnny Silverhand of the 2077 era.
Yes, sir. And apparently, because I haven't got much time to live, I'm like, yo,
fuck it, let's go to space.
Yeah, let's go to space, man. Let's have one last heist, because I don't care what happens. Like, this is my final send off.
Bro, I didn't believe you when you told me this. I was like, what?
It is dumb. What? It is dumb. Like, fuck. And like, this final thing is like, I'm gonna do this final heist by myself to this like casino space station where
casino.
Yeah. This like the top 1% of like the corpo dickheads are apparently. And then you don't get to play through that sequence or anything.
Yeah, it just ends.
The game just ends with you floating towards, like, you've exited your spaceship and you're just floating towards this casino, and it ends with your character just going like floating towards a
If anyone wants to know the face that Joe made,
true.
It was as if somebody like had just put too much food in their mouth and it weighed their bottom lip down, and they just stared ahead like, ooh.
It was a Gormo face. and yeah. So
I loved the way that you told me when we first both finished the game and we were discussing it. I love the way you were like, so yeah, Panam kind of fucks off, that didn't work out, but yeah, and then I was in space, and I was like, what? And he went, yeah, I was just in space, you know what I mean? And I was like,
it's so weird, because like, I think this casino is talked about once in passing.
I don't even remember ever hearing about it.
Yeah, I don't even know for definite, but
I never came across
it's not a big thing that he's like,
if only I could do this one heist.
Yeah, like, what?
And maybe that's again a thing of a lot of side missions that should be main missions. Maybe there's a side mission somewhere that makes that out to be a big deal, but you didn't find it.
Yeah, maybe.
But like, that's a kind of problem with the game design as well. But overall, I remember we were talking about it, and you were saying like, my ending, and I kind of think the same. It feels a lot more narratively satisfying, especially for the way I was playing, and maybe even for you, it probably would have worked out better, because presumably you did the same thing as me, where you and Panam were just tight, and like, you had this cute relationship, and Maybe it would have been cool as an ending for you, like, you know, the street kid that kind of grew up like Jackie didn't want to end up like Jackie, you know, dead. So you let go of that life and then, you know, chose to be happy or whatever. That could have been, you know, cool. But like I say,
yeah.
But then again, does it make sense with how the game works and the street kid life path? It's this.
Yeah, that's the thing where I'm saying like the ending is good, but no, the ending is bad but good, but bad in a good way.
Okay.
The bad part is kind of good but like it's still kind of satisfying because it's like, yeah, like as this street kid, you like always wanted to be this massive legend.
Yeah,
and,
like big
like,
crime boy.
Yeah, and where has it really got you? Like you should have learned from Jackie.
Yeah.
Like,
which because that's cool as well. I do think, like, all of the endings, obviously personal preference plays into it, but I do think from the endings I've seen, they all seem to be like, so what I'm looking for. They all seem to be like so well written that like it all makes sense with like, and you can kind of tie them in your own way, which is one of the things I really love about this game. Is like the player agency is insane. Like you've got so much choice to, like, you can just not be bothered and just do the main story, or you can play all the side missions and get way more out of the game and shit like that. Like, and like even in terms of the RPG elements, I'm not as big a fan of RPGs as you are. So like I wasn't managing my inventory and properly looking at crafting, or even the skill tree I barely paid attention to. I just went, yo, gorilla arms that can like punch through walls and shit, that's sick. Like I can punch someone's fucking head off. I was like, I want that. And I was like, I'll just keep, like, you know, oh, this thing's getting hard. I've got a bunch of health inhalers, just done it. You know what I mean? Like I had a good time, and we have completely different gameplay styles, and you know, in the same game, and I think that's a really cool thing. And even to the point of the endings, like you can get out of it what you want. You can just like not really think about it and go, all right, game's done. Or you can think into it yourself and go, like me and you have done, like, oh, how this would play into our life path. This is really cool.
Also, at the same time, it is me trying to make myself feel a bit better about my ending, because I would have just preferred to have your ending.
True, that is true, yeah.
because like I said this already to you, but like in my head, my choice, like this is the thing with RPGs, like if you overthink it, or like you kind of just need to go and like kind of just do it and then kind of be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. Which I do feel like that, but like in my head, the choice that I took wasn't going to lead to this, because I thought you'd have like maybe another option like after that.
Because surely if you think about it realistically, maybe there should have been another choice after the Mikoshi thing, because
like I leave Panam and then go back to her, and then, you know,
you could easily just run away with her after you've done it yourself. It's weird that you have to go, because I was worried.
Yeah, actually,
I was very worried that with Panam I got Saul killed, and I was like, this is when you're fighting Adam Smasher, and then I kill Adam Smasher, and I was like, she's gonna be fucking pissed, like actually, she's gonna go insane. Oh, and then she kind of just said to me like, he knew the risks or whatever, and I thought, fuck, she's gonna want nothing to do with me at the end. But then we were still like in love, and like we went off and became this like power couple, and it was sick. But I was like, maybe it shouldn't have played out that way if I got a lot of her people killed.
Yeah,
but I guess, I should mention, in that storyline, you do become a member of, you officially get the jacket, you become a member of that nomad clan, and and the ideas of nomads is that you will die for each other, so actually it does kind of make sense.
I mean, I feel like there should have been a conversation maybe afterwards where, like, depending on how you play that conversation, and it's much more clearer, then like that it depends on the ending. Because really, if you think about it, the only reason I got this whole ending is because I chose Johnny to take over my body, then Rogue died, and then I took Rogue's place, and then that makes me that makes me this like
Rogue was, for anyone who doesn't know who's just listening on, Rogue is like one of Johnny's ex-girlfriend kind of people, who is like a huge like crime boss and owner of this club, and like knows everything that's going on in the city and runs all the money and all this shit. So you like become her after she dies. Like, you're still V, but like you take over the club.
Even though in the mission, you were Johnny anyway. So,
because like
I don't know.
Because that's the thing. You know what? Out of all this, I haven't actually looked up any endings where you let Johnny become V. I don't actually know what happens in that. I should have found out before I did this, because I bet it would have been interesting to talk about. But sorry, folks, I didn't even think about it.
I think they're one of the were like not that satisfying endings.
Yeah, because he probably just
I think
becomes a druggie again because he's all by himself.
I think maybe they have like a reunion concert with the.
Oh yeah, because that's a thing that you set up, isn't it? Yeah, I forgot. You set up like a reunion concert. That's probably the ending, yeah, because I didn't ever get the end of that side mission. But yeah, it's weird because that ending as well has a lot of nuance. Like we were talking about when you get into Mikoshi, when you plug in, and me and you were saying it was very different. Like I had Johnny basically telling me, like I was saying like maybe like my character, I was trying to be sympathetic and be like, Johnny, I know what we agreed, but maybe you should go in my body because you would live forever, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's not actually worth it. And he like pushed me and sat me down and said, I promised you I'd give you your body back, you're going to go back to Pan Am. And he was like,
I had something like that as well.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, but obviously for you it would have been because you were Johnny and the guy in your head would have been V, wouldn't it? V would have been the construct.
And then I had that
nuance.
Really good point where when I was like walking off to confirm my choice, because I was Johnny walking towards it, V like came behind me and was trying to stop me, but it was the inner depths of Johnny's consciousness.
Yeah.
Like the most desperate like part of him that wants to live.
Stop him,
Like trying to stop him.
Bro, that's so really crazy, yeah. That's really cool. That's one of the things that I do. Like I'm like that is so much more deep than, because I was honestly a little bit dissatisfied with how it goes out with Johnny. Like the last thing he says to you before you go back to your body is just like, stay hard, kid. And I'm like, we had a bit of a deeper relationship than that, mate. I thought you maybe would shed a tear, or you know what I mean, like something like that.
If the game ended there for me, and then I was able to just think of my own end, like what happened after that. You'd probably
be more satisfied,
I'd be more satisfied, because like that was probably the best part, like not the best part of the ending, but like, you know, like after that whole sequence, like that, like I remember that. So
because it is kind of a shame that you like make a decision and think, hey, like you don't actually fully understand what you're committing to, which is kind of exciting with the story. Like for me, it was really exciting because I didn't know what I was committing to, and I was scared because I was like, maybe Pan Am dies. And when it eventually worked out, that not knowing it was going to work out and then it did was really satisfying. But then, and that made the game really cool for me. But then in your case, if I'd done the same as you, where I'd gone with Johnny and thought, well, now I can go back to Pan Am afterwards, and like having so much player agency throughout the game, thinking that would be a possibility, and then it not being is really disappointing, because I can't imagine how much it sucks to get your ending and go, that makes sense, but it's not what I would have wanted. And then afterwards, you see all the other endings and you go, oh, fuck. Because it's not satisfying. I can
still draw satisfaction from it. And I kind of had that in Witcher 3 as well, where like...
I haven't played Witcher 3.
Yeah, no.
I actually plan on playing it.
But like, I made all these decisions, and I was thinking, like I was going towards this point, but then... No,
yeah, right.
It was still fun. It was good, but
like it didn't ruin the game for you. Obviously, it's just it would have been a perfect cherry on top of the cake if you would have got the. Yeah, I get it.
If you're about player agency, what do you feel about the different types of ways you can like approach missions? Because the hacking side of it, like I didn't use it that much.
Nah, me either.
Yeah, it's not that good. But in terms of like the physical stuff, like I know it's kind of a basic thing, but I liked how there was always like multiple entrances or like exits where
that is cool.
you could attack it from like above and like these secret entrances, and like
there is actually strategy to each thing that you would be different between everyone. Like
and you kind of have to improvise.
If we started going, pardon me, if we started going like into specifics, we could probably find almost every mission we played slightly differently, like and there were different ways to approach and shit like that, which is really cool.
And also once you get the double jump, for instance, like that expands it even more.
That double jump is the best thing you can get in the fucking game, because like you can actually just start climbing buildings and shit. Like it's really you can start parkouring and it's really cool.
Yeah, it makes it makes it much more fun to
even
get
approach
about.
missions and shit.
And you can actually parkour and like do crazy shit like that. But yeah, but then that kind of brings like these like huge cybernetic upgrades were kind of like even though that like they are cool, at the same time they're kind of underwhelming.
I think they're very lackluster. I was very surprised that. So like, what's even worse is that when you get cybernetic upgrades, you go to this guy called a Ripperdoc, which, can we just point out, all of these things we're saying, all of these concepts, despite the fact we have problems with how they are in the game, the lore in this universe is so fucking cool. Like, even though it's like, oh, the arms and upgrades and shit in the game are like a bit lackluster, the idea that in this world there's like Ripperdocs that like you go to and they're like,
I agree,
they're like,
my tomb.
Yeah, they're like black market, like they're black market like cyberware enhancers that like, you know, they can take out your fucking eyes and give you new eyes and shit. Like, the idea of that's so cool. Like, you know, when at one
but that
point
is
when...
just cyberpunk. Like, that is kind of just the cyberpunk thing. Like,
yeah, I know, but like,
it's cool. Yeah,
it's very cool. Like, and it's cool seeing it in practice. Like, even sometimes when the games are frustrating with stuff, I was never ever like, I was constantly just blown away by all the creativity on display and stuff. It's very, the world is very engaging. Even I was saying that like a big testament to it is that I was having these graphical issues like popping and stuff, and yet I still couldn't stop playing the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I still just, the missions and everything was so solid, and the world is just like crazy, interesting to be a part of. That
NPCs.
Lol. I was having a good time, apart from, you know, when you're driving around the city and you see like a massive build-up of traffic and you go, what the fuck's going on? And it's just two NPCs that just tried to cross the road at the same time and then stop and never move. And you're like weaving in and out of traffic like, okay, there's no traffic lights here then that the AI respond to. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, fuck me.
But yeah, man.
Just comparing it to like Red Dead 2, which I started playing. Jesus.
I'm so glad you're playing Red Dead 2. I beat that back when it came out. I got that on console, folks. So now you can even know that the joke I made at the start was a joke. I love consoles. My PS4 is great. Joe just dabbed. He's trying to, you know, he's trying to dab inaudibly so that nobody knows that he's still dabbing in 2021, but he dabbed. I'm just going to put that down for the record.
We have to keep the
dab alive.
But like
for future generations.
I do it ironically, so it's not cringe, okay, guys?
It's like when you murder someone and the police show up and you go, I was doing it ironically, officer, and he goes, yo, and then he dabs.
Yo.
But yeah, I feel like
that's the thing with NPCs though. Like, it's weird because, bro, if you're playing a game, you don't want to play real life, do you?
Yeah.
Like, it's a weird thing.
There's this idea that games are going to become better by being more immersive and like the closer games are to real life. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like, the fun of GTA isn't that I actually think I'm murdering real people with families, and you know what I mean? The fun of GTA is that it's a world where you can go live out violent, like, you know, just dicking around with your friend. Like, you can hit someone with a car and go, oh, we don't have to worry about them having a kid or whatever because it's a video game. Would GTA be better if every NPC that you hit, you knew you were tearing a family apart? Would that make GTA better?
And then every time you have to like go through the whole process of going to court, seeing the family crying
every time. And like, while all of your friends are like in the stands just going, yo, guilty, bro.
Yeah, everyone's on mics like,
yeah.
Free my homie.
Free him up. It's like the trial of Chicago 7.
Yeah, and you have to like go through like months in real life
of
but
real
you're
time.
sitting at a computer.
And you're just like, I've got to actually go to work, and there's just an NPC.
Yeah, like,
silence.
Sounds like a good game to me.
Immersion is not the way forward. Closer to real life is not the way forward. All right, there's a brilliant. No, I'm not even going to make references. I was about to say reference like a video game design book, but I don't remember the author's name. I don't remember the name of the book. Just look at Barry. Barry from Game Grumps he does a video on immersion where he references the book. That's the best I can do for you, but it's a very interesting video.
Acceptable to me.
Yeah, where it just talks about how the lie of immersion making games better is just fucking stupid. Like, have you ever played like a really old game and stuff, and like the graphics are like not there, but it's still one of the best games you've ever played? Like, you go back and play an old Mario Brothers, and you're like, would this be better if it looked like real life, or would it be fucking terrifying? How would Bowser look in live action? Be terrifying.
Oh, yeah. It would be cursed, I would say.
Cursed.
Cursed.
But all right, let's start to wind down now. So, Cyberpunk overall, it's a very mixed bag, but I can't help but be positive about it in the end, while being self-aware that I'm very lucky that, you know, one, that the limited issues that I had didn't bother me, because the game was so good that it didn't bother me. And obviously that I'm on PC and, like, you know. And I'm also lucky
Slightly better.
Yeah, I'm also lucky that I wasn't hyped about this game for 7 years. It wasn't until last year that you, and by last year, yes, I do mean 2020. It wasn't until like mid 2020 that you kind of indoctrinated me with, like, I remember at the time I was kind of no man's skying about it. I was like saying, "There's no way they're gonna live up to all their promises," and I don't actually blah blah blah. And you're like, "No, Dan." And then you kind of infected me with it. And in a way,
Dan, this is kind of going to be cool. But...
in a way, that old me was right, but also wrong in the sense that the little stuff that they didn't.
We still had a good time, like.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. The little things that they didn't deliver on, like a subway service, as much as it is. That was in your first trailer, and you really didn't finish it. What the fuck?
To be fair, you're just going to fast travel anyway.
Exactly. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What? Imagine if a subway system wasn't it. What? You're gonna go around Night City and see all the pop-in anyway. Even worse, because it would be like generating all the time. Like, if anything, it's saving you from having more problems with the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do wish that maybe I had waited until the game was perfect to play to have the best experience. But as far as it goes, I had a really good time and I don't regret buying it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, that's the first game that I've kind of played like as soon as possible, like on launch, and like I think like kind of discuss like in the early part of the game, like discussing like what we think's cool and like
and being excited about it and stuff.
Yeah,
because like even like
that was cool.
My other probably is my favorite game of last year that came out. Hades that we're playing right now.
Oh yeah,
which is incredible. Even that I knew about when it came out, and I knew I was interested, but I still didn't get that till mid-November-ish. Hades is so solid.
Yeah.
If anybody listening to this hasn't played Hades, my fucking god, it is incredible. But I feel like
killed my father many times. I've
also killed my dad many times, and he keeps going, "No!" But yeah, that's the way to go forward, isn't it? But yeah, like, you completely threw me off there. But yeah, I don't know. That's it. I don't know what Hades is available on other than PC, and I think maybe Switch. I don't actually think it's available on other consoles. But either way, if you have any of those platforms, I highly recommend Hades. It's a great dungeon crawler, if not the best, in my opinion. But I haven't played that many, so don't trust me. But yeah, overall, let's give Cyberpunk a rating. Something you love to do. Give things
rating.
Ratings.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple for me. Pretty simple. I'd say, I'll be halfway.
It's kind of hard, man.
7.5 out of 10. I was gonna give it 8.
Yeah, I was
thinking 8 or 7. I think I'll go 7.5 out of 10.
Because I'm just thinking, imagine if it just ran like a solid.
Oh mate, if it
like
ran
there was
solid
no dips, like
if everything about Cyberpunk worked and it was well optimized, it would definitely be an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Maybe even a 9.
Like it still wouldn't be it's not groundbreaking.
No. It's not the welcome to the next generation of open world RPGs.
But like
that was a bad tagline. You oversold yourself.
Yeah, true. But like it looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The main story is enjoyable. The side stories, like there's so much
side missions
content.
Side missions are better than main missions. Let's just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Which isn't really a problem.
And when you happen upon something and it's just like a side mission and it actually turns out really good, like there's
so many times like that where I'd just be like going around like the high end like of the like the Hollywood Hills of Night City, let's say, where all the rich people are, and then suddenly you just like you'll see like an alarm go off and at a house somewhere, and you'll be like, what the fuck? And you'll see that it's a place full of enemies, and it was like I think the house had like been burgled and they'd murdered people there and they were still there, and it like kind of like other games would just be like, here's an area with bad guys. Even that little thing of just clear out the bad guys had a story of like, you know, they've robbed these people or whatever, and it's very cool.
Yeah. There is some like hidden stuff as well, which is cool when you just.
I haven't actually found a lot of it, you know. I've heard about some cool stuff.
Yeah, and like, you know, like everything's there for like a good game, but it was just plagued by this. So
it just didn't come together in the end perfectly.
It's
very good, but it's not perfect or great. Even
I'm going to agree with you and just go
7.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I'm probably going to go back to it and beat all the side missions and all that stuff when it's better optimized and, you know, all the bugs are fixed and everything. I think that's when I'll return. But till then, now that I've beaten the main story and I've done all the side missions that I like wanted to do, because I want to do the other side missions, but it was a matter of want of like, oh, I love this character, I have to complete their story, I love this character, blah blah blah.
Simp.
Everything, yeah. I am a simp for Panam, and hey, worked out for me, not you, pussy hole. I was definitely not in the start of the game simping for a character who actually turned out to be lesbian.
Right.
She's so fit though, like, come on. Judy. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, as this show is kind of getting more and more organised, I say, as we took a week off without telling anybody.
Year?
Yeah, New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Doesn't really count because I think I released the last episode in the new year as well, maybe? Or was it before? I don't know. Either way. No, it was. Yeah, I released it in the new year. So, yeah, I was about to say organised, but we took a week off without telling anybody, and then the Drunk Star Wars episode also didn't mention that we were taking a week off, so that's very cool. But we are organised when we're not drunk. So, next week, I can actually say what we're doing. If you remember, good old Baggy. From I legitimately almost said his full name again. You know how in the drunk episode I kept saying his full name.
Oh, Bradley.
Come.
You're giving me more work. I'm gonna bleep it out.
funny.
Extra work is funny. Yeah, it takes 2 seconds. It's fine. Why don't we just keep saying his name over and over again to give me more work?
You can start if you like.
Bradley's. People don't know. I mean, I could have just been saying really racist things just then and bleeping it out and pretending it was Bradley I was saying, but you know, God, I've got to bleep so much. Anyway, next week, good old Baggy from the drunk episode is going to be joining me, and we are going to be discussing and talking about our favourite wrestling matches of all time, because I am an aspiring... I said I was a pro wrestler in last week's episode. That's kind of a lie. I'm a trainee. I've been on a few shows, but I was actually only the referee. I haven't actually performed in front of... I've performed in front of one live crowd once as a wrestler. So technically, I'm not a wrestler. I'm still in training. But still, I'm a massive wrestling fan, and I love wrestling. And Brad is a kind of casual fan who's fallen out of love with wrestling recently because, you know, life happens. But he's going to talk about his favourite wrestling matches as a casual fan, and then I'm going to talk about my favourite ones as a hardcore fan. And we don't know yet, but Joe may or may not join us, depending on if he can be bothered to watch all of the wrestling matches with us beforehand and kind of not really know how wrestling works and, you know, talk about it with us. But that might be cool.
Oiled up men grappling each other?
They're not all oiled up, just most of them.
Well, I like them to be.
You know what I've noticed recently? There's like a thing where they have to be like tanned, and I'm like, can you really not look like pale on camera or anything? Because
Seamus.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, bruv, if life goes my way and I get to do what I'd love to, you know, do, if I get to wrestle in front of people all the time as a career, I don't want to be fake tanning. And I'm from England. I'm a fairly pale boy, but I don't want to be fake tanning before every match. That's No.
You could go on the old sunbeds and get like a somewhat natural tan.
Yeah, but that's...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just...
Yeah.
Either way, that's what we're doing next.
I might join. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, Joe hasn't decided yet. You'll find out next week. Ooh, there's a thing to keep you anticipated.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you very much for listening to our rambles on Cyberpunk.
Yes, sir.
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Why do you come? But yeah, thank you very much for listening. If you're watching/listening on YouTube, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Maybe give us a like. Maybe give us a subscribe. We've only got 16 subscribers, and the other day I couldn't find my channel even when I searched out the full name. So maybe help me find my channel every now and then when I'm looking at it on somebody else's device.
Help us find it. It's a task.
Yes, and then comment down below if you were able to find us somehow. We'll get no replies because nobody can find us. Hey-oh! Yes, and if you're listening on Spotify, thank you. We found out that 17% of our 17% of our Spotify listeners are American, which is crazy. I thought we only had one American listener, but apparently we've got like 3 across like 3 separate states. Yo. So howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
I hope it's going well over there. Just kidding. I know how bad it is. Please stay alive, everybody over there, if you can. I know COVID's picking you guys off by the minute. It's picking us off too. We're in a 3rd lockdown, so we're right there with you. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening wherever you are listening. If it's anywhere else, I don't know where else this is available, but apparently it is somewhere else. I think Google Podcasts has us somehow, even though I haven't registered with them. But hey, apparently we're on there. Cool. So, yeah, thanks for listening for the 50th time, as I've said. My name has been Daniel, and it will continue to be Daniel.
Hopefully. And I've been Joe.
Yeah, I don't really plan on changing it. I might change
listening.
I might change my name legally to Cool Guy.
That would fit you.
It's accurate, isn't it? I'd have to wear shades. Then everyone would know why I wear shades all the time.
Hi, my name's Cool.
No. The first name is Cool Guy.
Oh.
So I'd keep my last name. Oh, is that a deal breaker?
Yeah. Get out.
Fuck you.
Bitch.
Alright. Bye, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see you next week if you like wrestling.
Goodbye.
If I need your body, I'll come.